So in this video, I'm going to talk about 5 challenges that you're likely to face during your GMAT preparation. These 5 challenges are something that most of you will face, and I'm going to give you tools to handle these challenges. Okay, let's start with the first one. The most challenging thing that some people face with regard when preparing for the GMAT, especially when they're working, is finding time for your preparation. A lot of people think that, hey, they're going to find 2 hours out of the day and prepare for the GMAT. If you don't plan where that time's going to come from, most likely you're not going to be able to get those 2 hours consistently. So the first thing that's really important is look at what you do during the day and figure out where are you going to take time out from. Remember this. In overall, the math has to work out. You have 24 hours during the day prior to you starting your GMAT preparation, and you also have 24 hours when you're preparing for the GMAT. So you've got to take those 2 hours out, and something's got to give. So the best way I would recommend that you do is use a tool such as Toggle to figure out where you spend your time currently, and then identify where are you extract that time from. If you're going to spend less time with friends, inform them. If you have a boyfriend, girlfriend, parents, and you're not going to be able to spend as much time with them, tell them in advance. Tell them why the GMAT's extremely important for you. Why is it that you're planning to do this? The second thing, make sure you have a definitive time slot when you can study. The fewer decisions you have to make during your prep, the more likely you are to succeed. So if you decide that you're going to study from 6 to 8 in the morning every day, do that every day. Identify, there's no good time to study for the GMAT. There are some people who are morning people, there are other people who are evening people, and whatever works for you is what's good for you. There is this notion that you have to study for the GMAT at the same time when you're going to take the test. Again, while this is important towards the end of the exam, it's not the most critical thing for a majority of your prep. So you can do this in the last 20 days or last 25 days. But prior to that, find when you can study, which is the best time for you to study, and then study during that time. The third thing, when you find this time slot and you start studying there, then make sure you track how frequently can you put those 2 hours in. And if you're unable to put those 2 hours because some other disturbance comes in, again, identify what the cause of that disturbance is and iterate on it. Don't just assume that once you've created a plan that it's going to continue to work. If you don't track that data, you're not going to be able to put in that study time. So that was challenge number 1. The second challenge that most people find when they study is to put in high quality time. So let's say you've gotten those 2 hours out and you're going to study for the GMAT for those 2 hours. What I often find is that people during those 2 hours start an activity and then they go and watch a YouTube video for about 5 minutes in the middle of that activity. The outcome of that is that while learning, we can clearly see low scores. While learning, we can clearly see disengagement for these individuals. So how can you overcome this? Divide those 2 hours into 4 high quality 25 to 27 minute slots. This still leaves you enough time to finish an activity, then just take a 2 to 4 minute break and then start another activity. Also tell yourself that you're going to finish these 3 or these 4 activities during these 2 hours. Tell yourself your attempts are going to be extremely high quality, that you're going to aim for A grades in your journey view or a score of 80% or higher in that learning activity. As long as you have your mind on those scores or those grades, you're going to find that you're much more in tune, you're much more focused while doing that activity. And your brain will tell you that after that activity, you'll have about 4 to 5 minutes to relax overall. So to try using this strategy. The third challenge that you're going to face is to stay on a single course. I've seen many people who start with a number properties course, go through it midway, then start word problems, do a module of it, and then come back to number properties. Or sometimes people toggle between quant and verbal. I understand it's tempting. I understand that there are experts who recommend that. Trust me, it is harmful for you. You would not be delivering 60% of all success that's reported on GMAT Club if the focus on a single course strategy did not work. So while it's tempting to toggle between courses while one course is not finished, tell your brain you have to do this. Remember this. You're aiming for that 97, 98, 99 percentile. if you truly deserve that score, then you do need to demonstrate that mental toughness as well. Okay. The next challenge is a related challenge that people face is the challenge of being consistent. So you plan 2 weeks to finish the critical reasoning course or about 10 days to finish the number properties course. Usually what I see people is that they're consistent for 5 days and then somehow they're gone for a couple of days. Resist that temptation. If you need 2 weeks for critical reasoning, make sure you devote those 2 weeks, make sure you devote the right amount of time, make sure you finish cementing, and then you can go from critical reasoning to another course. Really, really important that you do that. And the last challenge that I see people have, which prevents them from especially those who are smart individuals who get to that 80th percentile, that prevents them from going from that 80th to that 95th, 97th, 99th percentile, is that lethargy to build an error log. An error log is absolutely critical, especially once you achieve that 80th, 85th percentile. In the error log, identify why you faltered, identify what construct made you falter that. So go through the error log module, be diligent in building that error log. And if you struggle, write to us, but do not give up on that error log, as it will help you get to improve from that 80th to that 95th percentile, 97th percentile in the shortest possible time. So these are the 5 challenges that you're likely to face, starting with finding time for your preparation, putting in high quality time, focusing on a single course, spending time consistently while you're doing that single course, and building that error log. If you overcome these challenges and follow the course as recommended by us, there's a very high likelihood, and when I say very high, I'd say upwards of a 90% likelihood that you're going to do extremely well on the course. We've seen this done again and again, and trust me, your journey will be no different. You would be one of our success stories as long as you follow these best practices and follow the process outlined in the course and apply it diligently.